Less than greater than it was June 15th, our son's 10th birthday. The backyard was full, balloons everywhere, 30 guests, a bouncy castle, a cake with 10 candles. Sophie was running around, laughing, wearing the princess dress I bought her. Rachel was in the center, smiling, handing out cake, looking like the perfect mom. I was at the grill, flipping burgers, feeling like the luckiest man alive. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Happy birthday to your son. You should know the truth. He's not yours. Check the file attached. Someone who knows. I opened the attachment. A DNA test. 100% match. Me. 0% biological father. The other match, Mark Thompson. My best friend since college. The guy who was Sophie's godfather. The guy who came to every birthday, every game, every holiday. Less than greater than. I looked up. Rachel was laughing, cutting cake, handing pieces to guests. Sophie was hugging her friends. I walked inside the house, to the bathroom, locked the door, sat on the toilet lid, stared at the screen. The file had more. Photos, texts, hotel receipts, 7 years. Every Thursday night, yoga class. Every weekend, girls' trip. Every time I said, I love you, and she said it back. All of it. A lie. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just sat there for 47 minutes until the party ended. Guests left. Sophie went to bed. Rachel came to me in the kitchen. Great party, honey. You okay? You were quiet. I looked at her. For the first time in 10 years, I saw her as she really is. I smiled. Yeah, it was perfect. Happy birthday to our son. She smiled back. Had no idea. Less than greater than. That was the moment a happy father became a man with a plan. A man who would wait 1 full year. Let her think everything is fine. Let her live the lie. And then, on the exact day she turns 45, destroy her world in front of everyone she knows. You are not ready for what I did after that 1 year of silence. Less than greater than after that birthday party. I made a choice. I didn't scream. I didn't throw her out. I didn't tell anyone. I smiled. For 1 full year, I smiled. Every morning I kissed her goodbye, made coffee, packed Sophie's lunch, drove her to school. Every night I came home, asked about her day, listened to her talk about work stress, about late meetings, about Thomas being so helpful. I nodded. I said, "That's great, honey." I hugged her. I waited. Less than greater than. I kept the DNA results hidden. I kept the photos, texts, receipts. I kept everything. I started collecting more. I installed a keylogger on her laptop, a voice recorder in the car. I checked her phone when she slept. I photographed every hotel receipt, every dinner reservation, every girls' night that wasn't. I built a timeline. 5 years. Every Thursday night, yoga class. Every weekend, conference in Boston. Every time I said, I love you, and she said it back. All of it. A lie. But I never said a word. I let her think I was clueless. I let her think she was winning. Less than greater than meanwhile, I changed. I started going to the gym at 5 a.m. I started eating better. I started dressing sharper. I started saving money in secret accounts she didn't know about. I became the man she once said she wanted. But I did it for me, for Sophie, for the day I knew was coming. I waited 365 days. I planned every detail. I booked the venue for her 40th birthday, the same country club where she and Thomas had their work dinners. I invited 120 guests, her parents, her friends, her colleagues, Thomas. I told everyone it was a surprise. I told Sophie it was the best party ever. And on the day of the party, I had everything ready. The DNA results, the timeline, the photos, the recordings, a projector, a 4K screen, a microphone. I let her think it was her perfect day. Less than greater than. At 7:17 p.m., I took the microphone. Everyone gathered around. I smiled. Before we cut the cake, I have one more surprise for the woman I love. I pressed play. The screen lit up. 5 years of truth in front of everyone she knew. That was the beginning of the end. The year passed like a slow-motion nightmare. I smiled. I kissed her good night. I held her hand at parent-teacher conferences. I took Sophie to soccer practice. I laughed at her jokes. I waited. I collected evidence every day. Keylogger on her laptop. Voice recorder in the car. Screenshots of every late shift text. Hotel bookings. Credit card statements. Photos from work dinners with Thomas. I built a timeline. 7 years. Every Thursday night, yoga class. Every weekend, conference in Boston. Every time I said, I love you, and she said it back. All of it. A lie. But I never said a word. I let her think I was clueless. I let her think she was winning. Then came her 40th birthday. Saturday, June 14th. The same date as Sophie's 10th birthday party a year earlier. I booked the country club where she and Thomas had their work dinners. 120 guests, catered dinner, live band, professional photographer, 4K projector for a special slideshow of Rachel's life. She cried happy tears when I told her, posted about it on Instagram every day for a month. She had no idea. The party started at 6 p.m. Guests arrived. Champagne flowed. Sophie was the center of attention, wearing the dress I bought her, smiling like the world was perfect. Rachel was radiant. $5,000 dress, $2,000 jewelry, perfect makeup. At 7:17 p.m., I took the microphone. Everyone gathered around. I smiled. Before we cut the cake, I have one more surprise for the woman I love. I pressed play. The screen lit up. 7 years of truth in front of 120 people. First, the timeline, then the texts, then the photos, then the hotel receipts, then the voice recording of Rachel laughing. He'll never find out. He's too busy working night shifts. Then the DNA test. 100% match. Me. 0% biological father. The other match. Dr. Thomas Langford. The room went dead silent. Then the screaming started. Rachel fell to her knees in her $5,000 dress. Sophie started crying. Thomas tried to run. Security, I hired for party security, blocked the doors. I took the microphone again. 12 years ago, I married the woman I thought I loved. 10 years ago, she started an affair with my friend Thomas. For 7 years, she lied to me. For 7 years, she let me raise a child that wasn't mine. Tonight, on her 40th birthday, the truth comes out in front of everyone she knows. I looked at Rachel. She was sobbing on the floor. I looked at Sophie. She was looking at me with confusion and pain. I looked at Thomas. He was pale, shaking. I spoke one last time. Rachel, you wanted a life of lies. Congratulations. You just lost it all. I walked off the stage. The band stopped playing. Guests left in silence. By 8:14 p.m., the party was over. Rachel was still on the floor. Sophie ran to me, hugged me, whispered, "Daddy, is it true?" I held her tight. "Yes, baby, but I'm still your dad." Always. That was just the beginning. They didn't accept defeat. They declared war. And for exactly 90 days, I showed them what war looks like when one side has unlimited patience and 12 years of pure pain. Day 1. I filed for divorce at 8 a.m. the next morning. Grounds: adultery plus fraud. Served her at 9:17. She was still wearing the diamond necklace. Day 2. I froze every joint account, all $187,000 in savings. Gone. Day 3. I changed the locks on the house. It was in my name only. Her stuff went into 11 black trash bags on the porch, with a note, "You have 24 hours. Day 4. I terminated her access to my health insurance, Sophie's too. Thomas's insurance never existed. Day 5. I contacted every parent from Sophie's private school, sent them the DNA report plus the 47-second video. By noon, Sophie was expelled. Morality clause. Day 7. I bought the company Thomas worked for, mid-size logistics firm, 51% controlling interest, cash, closed in 6 days. Day 8. Thomas was fired at 9 a.m., severance $0, non-compete 10 years. Day 10. I foreclosed on the $1.4 million mortgage on their dream house, the one they bought with money they thought was safe. They had 14 days to vacate. Day 14, I sued for 12 years of child support plus fraud plus emotional distress, filed in 3 states. Total claim, $4.8 million. Day 17, Rachel tried the "I was young and stupid" interview on local news. I bought 30 minutes of airtime right after her segment, played the full 47-second video plus 12 years of text messages. Unedited. Ratings. Highest in station history. Day 20. Their cars were repossessed, both leased in my name, old joint credit they forgot about. Day 23. I bought the venue where they plan to renew vows next year, turned it into a battered women's shelter. Day 26. Thomas's parents cut them off. Rachel's mother stopped taking her calls. Even their dog ran away. Day 29. They tried to disappear, rented a U-Haul, headed for Canada. I owned the only bridge out of town, private toll road. Security stopped them, turned them back. Day 30. The final blow. Exactly 30 days after the party, at 8:47 p.m., the exact minute I revealed the DNA test, a black Suburban pulled up to the motel they were hiding in. My lawyer got out, handed them one folder. Inside, final divorce decree. Judgment for $4.8 million. Custody. I retained sole legal custody of Sophie. DNA doesn't override 12 years of being dad in court. One bus ticket each to a town with 1,100 people and no airport. A check for $47, the exact amount that was left in my bank account when they stole my identity. And one handwritten letter. 12 years ago, you gave birth to another man's child and let me raise him. Today, I took back 12 years of my life. With interest. You will never see Sophie again. You will never speak my name again. You are dead to us. Enjoy the rest of your lives. The man who paid for everything and got nothing in return. They took the bus. They live in that town now. No internet. No credit. No hope. Every year on June 15th, a plain envelope arrives at the only post office in town. Inside, nothing. Just a single blank sheet of paper. They know who it's from. They burn it unopened. That's real karma. Silent, permanent, complete. 12 years have passed since Rachel's 40th birthday party. Rachel and Thomas no longer exist in any world that still matters. They live in a small town in central Nebraska. Population, 614. One stop sign. No traffic lights. Cell service drops 2 miles outside city limits. Thomas works the graveyard shift at a meatpacking plant, $17.20 an hour. He stands in -20-degree freezers for 10 hours, cutting beef carcasses with a bandsaw. His fingers are permanently scarred from frostbite. He hasn't had a sick day in 8 years. Rachel is a cashier at the only grocery store in town, $14.80 an hour. She wears a blue vest with a name tag that just says R. Customers sometimes recognize her from the old viral video. They pretend they don't. They rent a 720-square-foot single-wide trailer. Rent $620 a month. The toilet only flushes if you hold the handle exactly 7 seconds. They keep a bucket of water next to it. Their electricity gets shut off every other month. They pay the bill in cash at the gas station. Their 2 children dropped out of high school. The oldest works the same freezer as Thomas. The youngest ran away at 16. Hasn't been heard from in 4 years. Every June 15th, the day of the reveal, a plain white envelope arrives at the trailer park office. No return address. Inside, one photograph of Sophie at her latest graduation. Harvard Law, top of her class. One photograph of me and my family standing in front of the house that used to be theirs. One printed line. Some birthdays are for celebration. Yours ended 12 years ago. They stopped opening the envelopes 6 years ago. The park manager just throws them in the burn barrel now. Their names trigger content warnings on every search engine. Wikipedia page, Langford Carter Infidelity Scandal, 2015 to 2025. Locked. No edits allowed. When people Google Rachel Carter 40th birthday, the top result is still the 47-second video I released. 312 million views and counting. Rachel's mother died last year. Refused to see her on her deathbed. Thomas's father won't answer the door when they visit. They are ghosts. Living warnings. And every year on June 15th, somewhere in America, a teenager reads that Wikipedia page for a school project on infidelity and learns exactly what happens when you build your life on a lie and think you'll get away with it. That's where they are now, and that's where they will stay forever. Karma doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just closes the door and never opens it again. Today, I am 44 years old. Net worth, $2.41 billion and still growing. I own 87 companies on 4 continents. The largest privately funded veteran housing network in America, over 6,000 homes, all rent-free. 2 private islands. One is a full rehabilitation center for combat PTSD. And the Morrison Foundation that has quietly paid for college, medical care, and new homes for more than 18,000 military families who were once betrayed. But none of those numbers matter when I walk through the front door at 6:30 p.m. and hear the voice that healed me. Daddy's home. Lily, now 21 years old, West Point graduate, captain of the women's rugby team, full-ride scholarship to Harvard Law next fall, still runs down the hallway and hugs me like she did when she was 4. She knows everything. We told her when she was 14. She cried for 2 days. Then she looked at me and said, "You're my dad. Always were. Always will be." She still calls me Dad. Always will. The woman who made this life possible is named Captain Dr. Isabella Reyes, former Army flight surgeon, 3 tours, Distinguished Flying Cross, the strongest soul I've ever known. We met 8 years ago at a veteran charity gala I hosted anonymously. I was in a tux, no name tag. She was in dress blues, no jewelry, eyes that had held dying soldiers together with her bare hands, and still chose to believe in love. She walked straight up to me and said, You're the ghost who funded 1,200 prosthetic legs last year and refused credit. I've been looking for you for 3 years. I laughed for the first time since the desert. 6 months later, she moved into the house on Oakwood Drive. We turned Sarah and Mark's perfect kitchen into a study center for military kids. We turned their infinity pool into a hydrotherapy pool for wounded warriors. We married exactly 12 years, and one day after the day Sarah left me. November 15th, same month, different life. We have 3 more children together. Sophia, 9 years old, already speaks 5 languages, future diplomat. Gabriel and Mateo, 7-year-old twins, absolute chaos, my daily reminder that joy can be louder than pain. Every morning I wake up to the sound of their feet running across the same floors where Sarah once planned her betrayal. Every night Isabella falls asleep with her head on my chest, her old dog tags from the war, and the original house key to 418 Oakwood Drive hanging together on the same chain around her neck. We turned the entire Oakwood Drive into a living memorial. Every house is now home to a veteran family, rent-free, for life. Street signs renamed Morrison Heroes Way. Every November 14th, we throw the biggest celebration in the state. Food trucks, live music, fireworks that light up the entire county. At exactly 1917, the minute Sarah's text arrived 12 years ago, I stand on the front lawn with my family, raise a glass of 1961 Dom Perignon, and toast. To the homes they tried to sell, and to the families who actually deserved them. That's my life now. Not revenge, restoration. I didn't just take back the street they stole. I multiplied it and gave it to thousands of heroes who truly earned it. Every year, on June 15th at exactly 1917, after the fireworks are over and the last child has gone to bed, I do one last thing. I walk alone to the end of our private pier. The same pier where Rachel once took her new beginning photos the week she left me with $47. I sit on the edge, feet in the water, and I open a small ebony box I carved myself the first year I could afford tools. Inside are 3 things. The original text message she sent the day she left, printed, laminated, never faded. The $47 in cash I had that day, still in the same crumpled bills. 1 sealed envelope, heavy cream paper, my handwriting, black wax seal with my crest. Every year I write a new letter, by hand, no copies. This is the letter I wrote and mailed last month, word for word. Rachel and Thomas, 12 more years have passed. You are still breathing. I am still creating. You count pennies in a town that forgot your names. My children learn on planes and in classrooms named after them. You hide from cameras. The world asks for my autograph. Your story is a cautionary tale taught in law schools. My story is a commencement speech at Harvard, Stanford, and West Point. This is the final letter you will ever receive from me. There will be no more envelopes, no more photographs, no more reminders. I am removing you from my universe completely, not out of hate, not out of mercy, but because you no longer deserve even the microscopic space you once occupied in the back of my mind. You are footnotes in a book that became a global bestseller without you in it. Live whatever is left of your lives. I have already lived the one I was meant to. The man you left with $47 now gives away more than that every second. Thank you for teaching me what real wealth is by showing me what poverty of soul looks like. Goodbye forever. Michael Carter, the man you thought would stay broken and who instead broke the cycle. I sealed the envelope, walked to the end of the pier, held it over the water. Then, for the first time in 12 years, I didn't mail it. I lit a single match. Watched the flame crawl up the paper until it kissed my fingers. Then I let the ashes fall into the ocean, one by one, until nothing remained. That was the last time their names were ever spoken aloud in my house. So if you stayed until the very last second of this 70-minute story, and someone once told you you'd never be anything, that you weren't strong enough, rich enough, smart enough, worthy enough, look at me. From homeless, nameless, broken, to a billionaire who took back his name, his future, and built a legacy that will outlive us all. You don't need to destroy your enemies. You just need to outgrow them so completely that one day they wake up and realize the biggest mistake they ever made was ever thinking you would stay down.